Good morning! Welcome to my dadgum sports channel. My dadgum sports channel. What we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about dadgum sports. Well, we're going to talk about college football. We're going to talk about a sport. A sport. So, today is week 11, I think it is. Yeah, week 11. And there are some good games on tap today. I mean, some games worthy of watching. One of them that I'm going to review is going to surprise you that it's even getting a review, but I kind of got to because it kind of deserves its own review. So, the game of the week, according to ESPN, is Baylor and Oklahoma. That is a good game. I mean, yeah, Baylor and Oklahoma. That is a good game. They're playing in Waco. This is just the third time ever in their entire existence that Baylor started off 9-0. We all know about the scandal that went down there, and we're not going to talk about that because, quite frankly, it's not sports related in my book. It's personal, and yeah, we don't need to bust it. I think that Jalen Hurts and company, they're in trouble. He has a wide receiver that is probably the best in the country. Jalen Hurts does, and CeeDee Lamb. Kid's averaging 22 yards of reception for more than 30 receptions. That's kind of remarkable in itself. Jalen Hurts is the one getting the Heisman nods, but I think it should be the other way around. Take away CeeDee Lamb, and I think Jalen Hurts is dead in the water. I really think Baylor's going to win that game today. I think that they're going to come out. Their defense is stout. If you look, let me get to my notes here because I wrote some stuff down. The quarterback is Oklahoma's strong suit, according to the Heisman voters, but Baylor has an average of 32.7 quarterback rating against their opponents this year. That's over 9 games. They haven't had anyone even hit a 71 quarterback rating at all this year. So their defense is stout. We all remember Iowa State just a few weeks back had Oklahoma beat. If not for that failed 2-point conversion, Oklahoma would be a 2-loss team right now. I really think that Oklahoma's going to lose that game. I don't think that they're going to be able to hang with Baylor's defense. Baylor's only given up, 20-some points a game? Yeah. Oklahoma's averaging 30 points a game, but I just don't see them getting past that defense. That defense is going to pressure Hurts. Hurts is going to have to run, and he's not going to be able to run all day long. Moving on to the next game. My game of the week. Georgia traveling to Jordan-Hare Stadium to face Auburn. We all remember 2 years ago when we went to Jordan-Hare Stadium as an undefeated team. We got our behinds handed back to us. We lost 40-17. We did get a little bit of redemption in the SEC championship game, so we avenged that loss. But everybody knows that when you go down to the plains, strange things happen. They have a way of happening either for you or against you. Is whether or not you can maintain and not let it affect the outcome of the game. I think Georgia's going to win the game. I think they're going to start off kind of slow. Auburn's going to put it on them early. Auburn's got a pretty good defense. They can sack the quarterback. They can get after Jake Fromm, but Georgia's offensive line, nasty. Take out three guys went down last week. You plugged in 3 more 5-star athletes to play in their place. One thing I think you should look for today in that game is George Pickens, freshman wide receiver for Georgia, is probably going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder. He was the very first person to commit to Auburn in 2019 to come in, the freshman class. And at the very last minute, he flipped to Georgia. And 2 of the current players actually tweeted that the reason he went to Georgia was he got paid for it. And Gus Malzahn even got involved, and he didn't flat out say that's what happened, but you could tell he was agreeing with him too. So look for George Pickens to come out, chip on his shoulder. He's tremendous talent, young kid, and he's going to show out. Some other notable games today. Minnesota, number 7, against Iowa. Iowa's ranked number 23 in the country. They have a 6-3 record. Do I think they should be ranked in the top 25? Absolutely not. But they can play some ball. They have a winning record. Minnesota comes in lazy. They come in complacent. They're going to lose the game. That's going to knock them out of the playoff hunt. They've still got some work to do to get in the playoff. They're more than likely going to end up playing Ohio State in the championship game for that conference. And Ohio State's not going to lose another game because when you're playing Rutgers High School and teams like that, then you're not going to lose. So there you go. Navy and Notre Dame. Number 21 Navy against number 16 Notre Dame. Notre Dame is 7-2. Navy is 7-1. Notre Dame is not going to be able to stop that triple option that Navy runs. Navy's going to run around them. They're going to run through them. They're going to run over them. And just when Notre Dame steps up to the line to put 8 in the box, they're going to throw it over their head. So that's my upset of the week. Navy beats Notre Dame. What else we got here? Michigan State and Michigan. A who cares game. Michigan's ranked number 14. Should they be? No, they shouldn't be. The only 2 teams they played this year that were worth a flip, they got their butts kicked. So Michigan State's 4-5. It's going to be a game. I'd like to see them beat Michigan. Honestly, I don't have a dog in the fight, but it is what it is. Indiana, Penn State. Number 24 Indiana against number 9 Penn State. Penn State coming off a loss last week against Minnesota, where Minnesota controlled the entire game. I don't think they're going to lose. Indiana's going to get after them. Indiana can play some ball. But, yeah, Penn State's going to win that game and then gear up for next week's game against Ohio State, which they better be ready for that one. Clemson 10-0 against Wake Forest. Wake Forest is 7-2, but who cares? They can't. Nobody can hang with Clemson in that conference. We all know it. Clemson's the only team in the playoff, the top 4-team playoff, that is a lock. They're not going to lose. They're not going to lose anybody in their conference. They're going to be in the playoff. It's either going to be a number 3 or number 4 seed. My game of the week of people that don't matter. UMass against Northwestern. 1-9 UMass against 1-8 Northwestern. Here's some stats for that game. UMass is averaging only 20.7 points per game. Northwestern is averaging only 11.1 points per game. UMass can't pass the ball, 164 a game. They can't run the ball, 126 a game. But neither can Northwestern. They have no offense. I don't think either one of them have a defense. One of them has to lose. One of them has to win. Somebody's coming out with a 2-win season. I'm picking UMass. Simple fact that they've got 34 more yards per game passing, and that's going to be the deciding factor. They're going to win by 6. Florida, Missouri. Florida's the only team that could potentially knock Georgia out of the SEC championship if Georgia loses the last 2 games. Florida's a 2-loss team, both conference games. I think Missouri is going to come in, and they're going to come in mad because of what happened last week against Georgia. They were shut out. They're coming in ticked off. They're going to beat Florida. Florida's going to drop to 8-3. 8-3, they're going to drop out of the top 15, possibly out of the top 20. And Missouri is going to be 6-4 bowl eligible. Next game I want to look at is Texas. Texas is in trouble today because they're playing a 5-4 Iowa State team that's mad. And they're known as the Giant Killers. They beat top 25 teams. They beat top 10 teams. They beat top 5 teams. They gave Oklahoma all Oklahoma could handle. And only because of 2-point conversion they missed. That's why they lost that game. So Texas is going to be out of the top 25 this week. They're going to lose to Iowa State. And they're going to drop to 6-4. Iowa State gets that 6th win and eligible for a bowl. The 2 Pac-12 teams that are still in the playoff hunt, you have Utah and Oregon. Utah's playing UCLA today. They should be able to run the ball at will on UCLA. They have absolutely no defense whatsoever. Oregon has to win out, and I don't think they will win out. They only got 1 loss. Utah's only got 1 loss, but I think Utah's a stronger team. But it doesn't really matter. At the end of the season, the committee is not going to put a 1-loss Pac-12 team into the playoff. It's not going to happen. I don't care if there's a 2-loss SEC team. They will jump them. If Alabama loses another game, they'll still be ahead of both Utah and Oregon. The only way the committee would do that is if somebody patted their pockets. And you didn't hear that from me. Anyway, I think that's all the games that I wanted to cover today. Alabama's got Mississippi State. We all know Mississippi State's not going to give Alabama any kind of struggle whatsoever. Oh, I did see something on TV earlier, though. I was watching SEC Nation because it's one of the things I watch on Saturday. And Nick Saban's publicist is probably going to be looking for a job because they were interviewing him and they had a real close up of his face. You could see nose hairs everywhere. It looked like spiders fighting to get out of his nostril. Just want to throw that out there. Nick Saban, it's up to you, but if it was me, I'd fire the guy. I think that's all I've got for today. This is the Maiden Voyage of the Sports Channel. If you happen to stumble across this video, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I won't be mad at you. Any pointers you want to throw at me, I'll accept those as well. Enjoy college football Saturday, and we'll see you again next week.